I had an attack, but I had succeeded and I have survived, and then I am still working. My clock is ticking. All the officers, for that matter, IAS, IPS, IFS officers, always fondly remember their district days. The forest officers traditionally viewed as anti-develop hard work and sincerity and people oriented. That's all. If you are oriented towards people, yes, you will achieve all your goals. Aridi means rarest to be born as a human being. Every task cannot be achieved by the government or by the bureaucrats alone unless there is a participation, effective participation by the people. I strongly believe in this. I just do my duty as karma. That's it. Whether they praise or they curse, it doesn't go to my heart.
I am your host Gaurav Garg. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have the privilege of speaking with the remarkable individual, D. Rajasekar IFS, who wears many hats and has dedicated his life to conservation, community development and promotion of responsible ecotourism in India. With over 25 years of experience as a forest conservation official in the Punjab Forest Department, Mr. Rajasekar has left an indelible mark on the field of environmental stewardship. But that's not all. He is also an author, photographer and a vivid traveler who is passionate about nature and wildlife. His journey has taken him from the pristine forest of India to international conferences and seminars, and his commitment to fostering people's participation in biodiversity conservation is truly inspiring. During his tenure, Mr. Rajasekar founded India's very first community reserve at Keshopur Cham in Punjab, a pioneering initiative that reflects his dedication to preserving our natural heritage. He has been a key figure in the implementation of vital projects such as Japan Bank of International Cooperation assisted Punjab afforestation project and the World Bank assisted integrated Watershed development project in the Khandi region of Punjab. Mr. Rajasekar has also served as the member secretary of Green India Mission project in Punjab, further exemplifying his commitment to sustainability and environmental protection. Not only has he published numerous scientific and research papers, but he is also an inspiring motivational speaker and the author of self-help book titled Impossible is equal to It is Possible. His multifaceted career has made him a network specialist amidst common interest individuals, and he is on a mission to foster responsible ecotourism in India through his own startup ecosystem. We are truly honored to have Mr. Rajasekar join us today for his insightful interview, where we will dive deeper into his journey, experiences, and his vision for more sustainable and eco-conscious India. It's a pleasure to welcome Mr. Rajasekar to our show, Amazing Mentor. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the honorable introduction. Very great of you.
My pleasure, sir. So can you share some memorable moments from your childhood that may have influenced your career choices?
I had a wonderful childhood. I have studied in government-sponsored schools all throughout my life. We were a very simple family. I hail from a very famous temple town called Tanjavur. Tanjavur is the Brihadishwara temple built by Rajaraja Chola. And I did all my schoolings, everything from Tanjavur. And then I joined my college in Coimbatore. And then later I shifted to Mettupalayam for my MSc and other things. And my childhood memories are, every credit goes to my father, who is a teacher. We were raised like a kids of teacher in a very disciplined way. So that has been my backbone of my strength, and my father and my mother, who is a homemaker, but at the same time a dedicated homemaker. As far as my father is concerned, he has inculcated this particular value that I will give you the best education possibilities. So rest of the things are destinies and your own willpower. So that way I had a very wonderful childhood. We had been raised with the motto of hard work, dedication and honesty. These were the core values taught by my dad and my parents and my grandparents. We lived in a joint family previously, so we had a care and affection of grandparents as well, and our aunts and uncles, everybody were together in little system of village setup, complete rural setup. Later only, after our joining the services and other things, only we had exposure towards the urban areas.
What were your favorite hobbies and activities as a child, and do you think they have had an impact on your adult life?
During childhood, I had taken up reading of novels. all kinds of novels and literature, and especially Tamil. So I used to read a lot during childhood. That was one of the hobby. Secondly, we had playing in the school, like normally the football and basketball we used to play, and rest of the things I had developed little bit interest in the bodybuilding, or little towards the building of muscles in the standard 10th, because I was so short that time. So one of the masters said you need to increase your height and other things. So I just took it as a little bit of hobby, do little exercises and yogas and other things. And I am fondly called as Selvam. Selvam in Tamil means wealth. So I am supposed to be a wealth of my family.
Were there any role models or significant people in your childhood who inspired you to pursue a career in civil service or related field?
During my childhood, there were certain role models. Like we used to read the history. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who was the builder of the nation, like who integrated the entire nation. So we used to read a lot about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Subhash Chandra Bose. These were, we can say, found in my lessons. So I used to get that motivation from them, those historical readers. And one of the motivation to join civil service from my family is that in our extended family, we had great doctors. We had great army men, we had great engineers, we had all kinds of professions, agriculturists and agricultural officers, but there were none to join, to be in the civil service. We had a very great uncle called a rank of a colonel also, and the greatest doctors around us. So that way, my father, being a teacher himself, he said, I just want to see you as a civil servant, some kind of civil servant. So that should be your motto. So it was very hardest choice to join the BSc Forestry course, because during those years we did not have any job oriented course and we were blind when I joined BSc Forestry. But later I decided that having joined this forestry, I should become an Indian Forest Service officer. So that was the motivation.
Can you recall any specific challenges or obstacles you faced during your childhood that helped build your resilience and determination?
We are 4 brothers. There used to be a natural competition. I am the eldest in my home, so I had the responsibility to take care of my own brothers as well. That was a little challenge, we can say. And my mother, being a homemaker, she used to struggle a lot to prepare everything for all 4 of us plus my daddy before 8 o'clock. So that was a challenge, definitely. So I used to learn. I used to sit with my mom from morning to help her to prepare the kitchen, the entire fooding. So that has really helped me even as a civil servant. Before my marriage, I used to cook my own food. Even now I am very fond of cooking. So that was one of the challenge. Not a challenge, but I learned it from my mother. So she inculcated. So we used to pack everything in the morning, 8 o'clock. We used to run to the school, including my father, who is a teacher. So we have to carry our lunches. These were some of the things. And every challenge is really taught to conquer by our father and my grandfather. I hail from Punjab district, where the Kaveri used to flow. We used to conquer the Kaveri river. That was a challenge. We used to cross the river, even as a childhood. We never learned swimming in swimming pools. We were just thrown into the river, so we have learned swimming. All the challenges are thrown to us, and then we have to conquer and then come up. This was the greatest education I learned from my father and from my grandfather. So these were all some of the challenges, and we were made to grow spiritually also, spiritually high, in the sense that God-fearing, respecting the elders. These were all some of the values which were imbibed in our entire childhood.
What sources, including books, study materials and coaching, did you find most helpful during your UPSC examination preparation?
During our period, there were not real great coaching institutes except in Delhi. I, being hailing from Tanjore and studied in Coimbatore, we did not find any coaching institutes except in Chennai or Delhi. Very honestly, very frankly speaking, we had greatest mentors in our college, greatest professors who cleared all our doubts. And also, when we cleared in our exam UPSC, those days there were no access to internet. There were not great access to computers or anything. We had physical books. So physical books and notes. Wherever we could prepare notes on our own. So we used to refer whatever possible books. Wherever it was available. From Dehradun, we used to source. Because the forestry service exam was highly technical subject that time. Even today also, after the prelims. So we did not have preliminary pattern earlier. During our exam days, we had only the direct written exam. Indian Forest Service was a separate exam. So we used to prepare handwritten notes referring to all the books written by great famous authors who are all mostly from northern India, from FRA. So we used to clear our doubts from our mentors. My professors, I can recollect till date, my professors in the college were the greatest masters, who were the greatest inspirers. Whenever we had a doubt, we used to go and clear from them only. So I did not attend any coaching classes during my preparation. It was entirely from the college, from the university, library, and from our own books and our own notes, which is not the case as on date. Today we have enough material. I am not advising to go to my way of preparation, because today there is a world of materials in front of you. It is up to us to segregate. But those days we used to read Hindu, for example, Hindu, the newspaper, the Survey of Environment books published by the Hindu, again, Survey of Agriculture, Survey of Environment, the Manorama yearbook. Like this, we had Competition Success Review, Competition Success Refresher. These were of some of the books which I can still recollect, and we studied those books only. But the times have changed today. The competition level has increased and the availability of material has increased. Today the youngsters have plethora of opportunities and the greatest way of getting the materials. Everything is available on fingertips. Those days were not the case. Those days we have to go and refer to the library. We used to read the hard books, and there were not even CD-ROMs. Bigger CD-ROMs we had, which is available only in the library. So we used to read and then take printouts, Xerox. All those days were Xerox books, and then make written notes. I have still files of notes. Till date I have stored it.
Can you share a funny or memorable childhood mischief that you were involved or witnessed?
Very mischievous in the sense jumping from the trees to the river, falling down from the trees, because we used to wonder how to climb the coconut tree without knowing the techniques, without ropes. So we had fallen down from coconut trees halfway, plucking mangoes from gardens without notice of the owner. So running away and falling on ant hills to get bitten. These are all some of the childhood memories. Still I remember I as a mischievous child. So rest of the time I have not done serious mischiefs.
As a parent or caregiver, how do you handle or discipline mischief behavior in your own child while also allowing them to explore their creativity and curiosity?
That is a wonderful question. In fact, I find that as a generation gaps, the generations have changed. In fact, my kids are very small. They are highly mischievous. I have twin kids, in fact, a boy and a girl. So same age. So they are competing each other. So when we split the resources, especially the TV or mobile in this generation. So playing, a girl wants some specifics and a boy wants some specifics. So they are really mischievous, but the education standards have improved. Today, I find it really very difficult to say that they are studying more than what we have studied in 5th standard. In the first standard itself, they are completing. And that way, we give a lot of freedom to our children to develop on their own in all multiple personalities. My son dances very well, excellently. He is a good dancer. And my daughter draws all across all our walls of our home. So we cannot control. I thought that, okay, the childhood should be enjoyed like this. So we don't control other than the homeworks. Otherwise, they are very good. But of course, sometimes I feel that there is a great generation gap. So we may have to adopt to this particular generation, because we are 90 kids and they are not even 90 kids. We are born in 70s. So 90s is our college and they are 2020 kids. We have to be generous to accept the reality. So that way I am a very, very liberal parent. Both of us. My wife is a professor. She is a doctorate. Both of us are well qualified. So we give enough freedom to be on their own. But at the same time, we are also giving the values of education and hard work. We never give anything to them just like that. No pampering. We don't do. Both of us, we don't do any pampering. We will make sure that they work hard for that. Before they get something, any gift or any reward, they need to work hard. Nothing is free. This particular habit we are trying to inculcate with our children.
What were your initial experiences when you started your career as a professional in the Indian Forest Service? And can you describe your first few months on the job?
First few months we were in the academy, Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy, which is a wonderful, wonderful place. We can say heaven on earth in Dehradun. So just above us is the Mussoorie Hills, where the LBS and the Lal Bahadur Shastri for National Academy of Administration is located. We are in the downhill. So first 4 months we joined our induction course. We can say induction phase, where all the probationers are brought together. They were asked to stay in the hostels. So one one of the greatest disadvantage being from Tamil Nadu I had was I did not know Hindi. So my colleague professionals from Northern India, they made sure that I speak in Hindi. They will converse with me only in Hindi. They know that I don't know, but they will speak only with Hindi so that I pick up the language. And it is an unbelievable thing that I picked up Hindi to little level of speaking and understanding in 4 months during the induction phase. The entire credit goes to my colleague friends, my batchmates from North India. I still remember my batchmate who is the NDMA advisor now, Kunal Satyarthi. All are in additional secretary, joint secretary rank in Government of India. Shailendra Singh, all are there. All are in Government of India, very senior position. They made sure that I speak in Hindi with them. So that was one of the greatest learning I had in 4 months. And all kinds of adventures in Indian Forest Service. And we also have a combined training with IMA cadets. Our neighboring campus is the Indian Military Academy. So the cadets, the lieutenants, they will run with us. So we will compete with them. Those cadets are physically strong. We were not. We were not initial, but we built up our physique also. And we had a wonderful time. So 5:30, morning 5:30, that was the most difficult part of our entire career or academy, we can say. Morning 5:30, you have to be clean shaven, not like this. Clean shaven, more clean shaven. And you have to assemble in the parade ground. And the physical trainer, PT master, who is Mr. Cosby, who is no more. He is the most remembered faculty in our entire academy. Not our teachers, not the professors who taught the subjects. The physical training master, he is remembered by all of us because 5:30 he is a disciplinary. He will not give you 1 minute extra. So the physical academic part, that physical training part is the enjoyable part. Sometimes it will be very difficult also because it is shivering cold in Dehradun. Whether it is cold or rain, you have to be there. That's all. So that was a wonderful part. We had very great forest tours and induction tours where we used to have a Kanasa camps, like night camps, overnight stays, hiking, trekking, and then we joined the foundation course called for our all India services, all the services, 16 services together will be put together for 4 months in Mussoorie, along with IAS, IPS, IRS, all the countries. All 16 services together, we will be joining as a foundation. Another wonderful memory of the course, because we are not only interacting with all the services across, but also we will be having all fun. Like you learn horse riding, you learn high mountain climbing. We had high altitude trekking from Mussoorie. We went to a place called Roopkund. Roopkund is a place in high Himalayas where there is a frozen lake where some tourists also have died very long back. So the skeletons will be fresh there. Skeletons. So we had conquered that Roopkund during our LBS. Lal Bahadur Shastri, National Academy of Administration days. And I had a greatest leadership role in LBS by election. I was nominated and elected as president of the mess committee of the LBS NAA in my batch. So president mess committee is next to the director of the academy as per protocol. Whenever you receive a guest, so we had a guest like Lal Krishna Advaniji and General VP Malik, who is the chief of army staff during my probation. So we used to receive, I personally as a president mess committee, I will be the host for them. I'll be receiving them and I'll be made to sit next to director and the chief guest. Chief guest will be in between. I will be on his right and director will be on left. So we had the honor of serving as the president of the mess committee in Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, Mussoorie, during my probation. So we had that particular honor also. It was a honorary post.
So post your training, how was your initial experience as an IFS officer?
Post my training, we joined the state of Punjab, because I was allotted to Punjab cadre by the ministry. So I joined a place called Hoshiarpur. Hoshiarpur in Punjab is forested, the most forested district of Punjab, which is adjoining the Himachal areas, Shivalik, lower Shivalik hills. So I had undergone the range office training and the deputy DFO or assistant conservator training under one of my guru, one of my mentor, trainer DFO, who is Mr. Ratna Kumar, another very stalwart forest officer who is retired now. So I had the wonderful opportunity of learning things from there. And during our range training as an IFS officer, but we need to undergo the range training. As a range officer, you have to serve for 4 months. So during those days, I had undertaken some initiatives of removal of encroachments. So Punjab is a place where every inch of land is very valuable. Either it is a government land or private land, it is very valuable. So there were some of the areas, forest areas, along with the adjoining agricultural areas were under encroachment. We had undertaken demarcation survey and then we had removed even during probation. So those days we had faced some challenges also, even from the local leaders or local politicians, we had some challenges. These encroachments were under encroachment for quite long time. So being a probationer, and I knew the things at the ground, so I had dared to remove those encroachments with the help of district administration again. So we had to seek help from police, the revenue. So our district collector and the senior superintendent of police, DM, were helpful in our endeavor to remove the encroachments. I was given some awards also by my district forest officer as well as my principal chief conservator of forest in the form of appreciation certificates during my probation. And as an independent DFO, I joined a place called Dasua. After fourth year, once we passed the national language and the regional language of Punjabi, because you have to learn Punjabi also now. This is additionality. Going to Punjab cadre, so you need to pick up Gurmukhi now. After Devanagari, you need to pick up the Gurmukhi script. So I cleared my Punjabi exam also, the state language, because we work in the state language. All India services officers have to write, read, everything correspond within the state in their regional language. So after learning Punjabi, so I joined my place called Dasua, which is again the part of Hoshiarpur district, where we faced several problems of encroachments. Ably supported by political leaders and sarpanches. So I dealt it very sternly. Again, that particular stern approach earned me a very good name in that particular district, that the leader of opposition from the party, they started appreciating me. And then I was given one more posting, a coveted posting. It's a first level posting as a district forest officer at Pathankot. I joined as a district forest officer Pathankot, wildlife. So wildlife divisions were created. Again, Punjab state as such, you can say, it is having less number of forests, less quantity or quantum of forest as well as wildlife. Whereas this Gurdaspur district in Pathankot, which is a bordering district with the international border as well as with the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So this has a wonderful and potential wildlife areas. Whereas in the last 50 years, no wildlife sanctuaries were created. District Gurdaspur did not have any wildlife protected areas. So I joined the district forest officer there. Immediately I surveyed the entire district, and I am so happy to inform that I founded the India's first community reserve. India's first community reserve. Community reserve means the land belongs to the communities. The land belongs to the people. In fact, it is not government land. And whereas there are a lot of wildlife birds, like including birds like Saurus cranes, there were breeding grounds. There were beautiful birds, migratory birds. That is the migratory corridor from Pakistan to Punjab and then down south. Like so, the Gurdaspur district wetlands were highly potential for wetland birds conservation. Whereas our traditional forest department approach did not materialize. So our forest department wanted always to declare it as sanctuary, because sanctuary you cannot declare it in community land. It should be your land. It should be government land. Then only you can declare it as a sanctuary. So I changed my approach, and the amendment in Wildlife Protection Act in 2002 came very handy. The amendment in Wildlife Protection Act 2002 made two more reserves, like community reserve and conservation reserve. That was the amendment brought in the Act itself. So that particular clause was not utilized, even though it was introduced in 2002. It was never used by any of the forest officers till 2007. So I studied that. I said, why not community reserve? So why don't we talk to the communities, get their cooperation, make them understand, create awareness. What is the benefits of creating a community reserve here? So thank God and thank all Almighty and thank all those villagers and the sarpanches and their local community. They understood, because we used to sit with them in their floor, in their homes, in their towns, in their villages. We used to have continuous dialogue. We will explain them in local language, Punjabi. We will have lunch with them, and Punjabi people are very hospitable. They will not allow you to go without lunch. So we will sit with them. We will have lunch with them. We will make them understand. We will have lassi. Morning if we go, till evening we will be sitting in the ground with the people. As a district forest officer, I am saying. As a district forest officer along with my team. We will be sitting with them, and just in 7-8 months the efforts bore the results. And 8th month we made our draft notification, gave it to the collector, recommended, and my batchmates were again this is the beauty of bureaucracy. So I was the DFO IFS, my batchmate was the collector, and another batchmate is the superintendent of police. So we three trio, IAS, IPS, IFS together. It was not my effort alone. So all the three, Vijay Pratap Singh, who is a leader in the AAP today in Punjab, he resigned and joined AAP. He is my batchmate. And VP Singh, another VP Singh is an IAS officer. He is a principal secretary today. So I am D. Rajasekar. So we made that India's first community reserve. That was declared, and that made headlines in the papers, and that is the India's first community reserve, because 5 years gone from 2002 to 2007, nobody has attempted. I joined in 2002 exactly as a district forest officer. Took 5 years. Of course, Gurdaspur, that was last posting 2007 as a DFO, district forest officer, before I moved on to deputation. So in 1 year, I am very proud and I am very happy to say that I have declared the 3 protected areas. 3. Not only India's first community reserve. 1 community reserve, 1 sanctuary, Kathalur Sanctuary, Wildlife Sanctuary, and 1 conservation reserve, Ranjit Sagar Dam Conservation Reserve. So 3 categories. All the 3 I have touched. I could not declare a national park because we don't have area suiting to a national park in Punjab. So all the 3 I have attempted in 1 year. So that was a very fulfilling career for me there in Punjab. Then later I moved to deputation as Secretary to Animal Welfare Board of India.
So were there any specific mentors or colleagues who played a significant role in shaping your early career in IFS? How did they influence your professional growth?
I should give my entire credit goes to my boss in my college, who was my dean, our principal. He's an IFS officer, Mr. Balaji. He's a retired principal chief conservator from Tamil Nadu. He shaped me as an IFS officer in the college days. Like after college, post college, he only motivated me that you should become an IFS, then this is the career. So that was one. And later in the academy, we had wonderful mentors. One of our director, who is no more here, Mr. Gangopadhyay, he is the principal chief conservator retired from Madhya Pradesh. He was our academy director, very strict director, we can say, and at the same time very friendly director with the professionals. But he is a role model by just not being a director, but he will be with us in any camps. There will be director tent in the middle of the camp. So director will be there. He is a senior officer. He is our role model. We have Gangopadhyay. He is no more. We had Gopa Pandey, we had Bhaskar, we had Monish Malik. All of them are very senior officers, retired now. Atul Jindal. All officers who have shaped really the professionals, who have molded how to go ahead in the career. So we had role models across the country also. Like whenever we are on tour, West India, East India, South India, Northeastern India, we used to meet the leaders like in the field. So one of the leader was Rajesh Gopal, who is a Tiger Conservation Authority man. Even today he is a NTCA director. Rajesh Gopal is from Madhya Pradesh, who was a director in Kanha National Park. So wherever we went, we met idealistic IFS officers. So we had imbibed those qualities. How did they work? How did they succeed in their attempts of forest conservation or wildlife conservation? We had role models. I'm not the only one. We had role models. 2,700 IFS officers are there across the country. We have at least 500 to 700 role models in various fields. We had beautiful, very great mentors who have really explained to us the process. How did they excel in their field? So that way, right from starting off my days of dean from my college to my director, and even we had the great directors and faculty in LBS Academy also. One Mr. Dada Banerjee was there in Masuri Academy, LBS Academy, who taught us law. So we used to be very afraid of him because he is an equivalent to a chief, like a justice of a Supreme Court. That way only he teaches law subject. So Dada Banerjee, you getting a tap from Dada Banerjee is a very big honor. I had a certificate from him. I had the honors of the Dada Banerjee also. So all our mentors, all our gurus, all our teachers, in fact, they are all our role models. They had given us the best possible. So that is the same quality which I wanted to try. I wanted to imitate, we can say. Whatever I have imbibed or whatever I have got, I wanted to give the best to the society. So this is the one of the quality I learned from all our mentors.
Can you share some of the challenges you encountered during your early years in the forestry sector and how did you overcome them?
Civil services are always challenging because you are not only praised but also criticized a lot in public and as well as from your own field level or from the public. In order to overcome that, you have to perform. So that is the only way I can say. Either you perform or perish. So we had challenges of, as I said, in Punjab in terms of encroachment. And when I came to Animal Welfare Board of India, we had a great problems with the politicians. So I was secretary to Animal Welfare Board of India. We had a greatest struggle of fight even up to the level of Supreme Court in a sport called Jallikattu. Jallikattu is a bull taming festival celebrated in Tamil Nadu, very famous festival. This Jallikattu has become a kind of cruelty sports. So Jallikattu, when I joined the Animal Welfare Board of India as a secretary in 2007, we had the biggest challenge because there was a case filed in Honorable Supreme Court to ban this sport. As a secretary, I could succeed immediately, instantaneous. So thanks to the higher judiciary, the Chief Justice and others, the companion judges, they put a blanket ban immediately in 2008. So that made a huge hue and cry across the state. I belong to Tamil Nadu, but I work from Punjab. So I came on deputation. I faced this biggest threat, we can say. I had a ban from the Supreme Court. So Jallikattu was banned, and there was a big political turmoil in the state in 2008 exactly. There were huge demonstrations and protests across the state. So I was targeted as an individual. Rajasekar, this fellow has banned it. So I had life threats also. Of course, the state machinery will definitely protect the officers. So we had protection, police protection and others. And later we had dialogue. The state government came to dialogue with us. And then we had formulated Jallikattu regulation rules, Jallikattu Regulation Act, how to conduct this sport. And today, even from 2008 to now 23, the entire Jallikattu is very well scientifically regulated. The district collector will be there on the spot, the superintendent of police will be there, the district veterinarian will be there, and there will be monitoring. There will be no cruelty to the animal. One animal will be released at one time, and only one person should jump and catch hold of the hump. So several and double barricading was done to avoid from injury the public, the spectators, and insurances were introduced for the bull tamers. So there were greatest developments in the Jallikattu. Today it is very beautifully held, very scientifically held, very safely held. It was a real challenge to join with, and of course we also had challenges like animal activists who will always blame the Animal Welfare Board of India. They are not doing well. They are killing. There are incidences of stray dog killing, and Animal Welfare Board of India is not implementing the animal birth control rules. PCA Act was one of the less stringent act. We can say 50 rupees is the fine. So we amended the PCA Act also. We tried. We had formulated several rules during our career as Animal Welfare Board of India. We had a wonderful opportunity of serving under Major General Dr. M. Harp, who was the chairman of the board. He is a very good disciplinarian and also a veterinarian. So I had the wonderful opportunity to serve under him as secretary. And we had the board members across the country, like IAS officers, IPS officers, Shailendra Kant Mishra, and Raji IAS, IPS. So several officers were there in our board. So we had the wonderful opportunity of guiding, mentoring, and I was molded properly because I was a member secretary for the entire country. So it is not an easy job to satisfy the entire country sitting in Chennai. So the headquarters was at Chennai. So I worked for around 3 years. But that particular Jallikattu incident has made some little political animosity as well. In my career, it affected a little bit. Of course, with the judicial intervention and with as the truth ever triumphs. So I had an attack, but I had succeeded and I have survived, we can say. I have survived and then I am still working. My clock is ticking.
The job is hard, sir. So what lessons or insight did you gain from the role as Deputy Conservator of Forest in Punjab, and how did this position contribute to your overall career development?
In the forest bureaucracy, in our hierarchy, we join as Deputy Conservator. Deputy Conservator means District Forest Officer. So the first promotion from District Forest Officer to next after 12 years, we join as Conservator of Forest after 12th year. That means after 12th year means you are into senior level. At the time of 13th or 14th year, you are promoted as Conservator, and in the year 18th, you are becoming Chief Conservator. This is a bureaucratic promotions, we can say. And in the 25th year, you are Additional Principal Chief Conservator, and after 30 years of your career, you will become Principal Chief Conservator of Forest, who is the head of the forest force in the state. So right now I am in the rank of Additional Principal Chief Conservator. So this is a hierarchy of bureaucracy. So the District Forest Officer or Deputy Conservator of Forests are the golden days of a career for anyone. For even IAS also, the District Collector job. That is the job. Even for the IPS, it is the Superintendent of Police job. So once you become IG or once you become Secretary, you are into the file work and you are into the office now. Similarly, in our forest career, it is the Deputy Conservator. You are in the field as a district in charge, District Forest Officer in charge for 8 years, 8 to 9 years maximum. That is up to 12th year or 13th year of your career from joining of the probation. So Deputy Conservator period is the most wonderful period. The district posting, it is called district posting. So that has shaped your career. In fact, that only shapes your career. How you are going to be as a boss later, as a state chief, or even you have a chance to become Director General of Forest, DGF also in the Government of India. So entire career shaping is done only how you behaved or how you acted, how you work, how you delivered the services to the people in the district. So all the officers, for that matter, IAS, IPS, IFS officers, always fondly remember their district days. So that is the shaping of your career. Deputy Conservator of Forest is equivalent to district forest officer or district magistrate or superintendent of police, or some places it is called senior superintendent of police. So this is an equivalence. So those days are really enjoyed, where you have the entire platoon of your field staff. You go on tour, you go inspection, you do the resin taping, you do the fire prevention operation. You also talk to the people, you sit with them, you understand their problems, you try to resolve. I used to have Sangat Darshans promoted by our honorable former Chief Minister of Punjab. So he is no more, Mr. Prakash Singh Badal. So he used to have Sangat Darshan. Sangat Darshan means meeting the public. On every Saturday and Sunday, all the ministers and all the MLAs will be on the field. So as a district in charge, you have to compulsorily be in the field with them. You have to listen to the people. He is one of the greatest politicians, in fact, in the state. So, but he is very, very humble and very people friendly. Also officer friendly. He will write, sir, DFO sir, he will say. And also he will address the officers very respectfully. But at the same time, all our honorable MLAs and all our honorable ministers, everybody used to be there in their constituencies on Saturday, Sunday. Invariably, all the district level officers have to accompany them to the field, to the villages. So those days I have inculcated that people's participation quality. I mean the importance of people's participation, listening to the people. If it is within your powers or within your domain, then you try to solve it then and there. The people need not come to your district headquarter office also. So we used to have these days district Sangat Darshans. So that has really helped me to be a people officer. Basically, by heart I am more people oriented, in fact. So I wanted to solve the problem instantaneous to the maximum level possible. I don't want them to escalate it to the seniors or very higher rank, to the level of government and levels. Whatever is possible within the rule framework, so we will try to resolve it. That is one of the lesson or one of the qualities that I have imbibed from the academy days. So I am awarded a gold medal for a subject called People and Forest. So that was a pure gold medal, in fact 10 grams gold.
So could you share an example of particularly challenging wildlife conservation or habitat restoration project you have been involved in, and how do you address the difficulties?
We had this wetlands, right? Before we declared it as a wildlife community reserve, these wetlands were open to all. So there used to be lot of poaching for the wildlife birds. So Saurus crane means it is 6 feet tall crane. 6 feet. It stands like a human. So one bird, if you kill, it will feed the entire family for next 3 days. Saurus crane, which is a scheduled animal protected under the Wildlife Protection Act. Not only Saurus, but also several birds. So there were rampant poaching. In fact, I can say I don't want to dishonor the Punjab, but at the same time they are very adventurous. Like we say, shauking. So they are shauking hunters. So that shauk has to go from their mind by rule of law. So you have to be very strict. You have to show them the jail also sometime. So the Wildlife Protection Act is non-compoundable. If you are going to kill a scheduled one animal, it is non-bailable, non-compoundable. You have to necessarily go to the jail and only you need to obtain a bail. Problems of shikaris in Punjab, and one very funny episode I should recollect here. The shikaris, they will go and hunt and also take photographs with their catch. Unfortunately, that is an evidence for us. So when we traced the photographs, so we had a wonderful time. So we had dealt it very clearly. And second, one important assignment I was given as District Forest Officer Wildlife in Gurdaspur by my Chief Wildlife Warden was smuggling across coral reefs from Pakistan, international border. So Atari border is there, Wagah border. So where there is a lot of consignment comes in the terms of red corals. There are no corals in Punjab. It is coming inside from Pakistan. So where are they coming from? It is an international operation. I had to work with the customs and police and revenue and so many other agencies, intelligence, and we could trace the coral reefs to Gujarat and to Tamil Nadu also. So red corals came in powder because it was used in medicine, local medicines and all. So the coral reefs were harvested in Tamil Nadu and Gujarat and the areas, and it was smuggled to Saudi Arabia and other countries, and then it came to India again, back in India through Pakistan. So that was one of the investigation that I carried out. Hunterers, we had dealt it very clearly, and then we made good awareness. So we will show them the taste of the law. So that way it has reduced a lot. And in fact, after the declaration of community reserve, we had put a signboards. We have put everywhere signboards that this is the bird. So this is the under Protected and Wildlife Protection Act. In case if you are going to harm, not even kill, harm the bird, this is the punishment. So that way the entire community were aware now. And today, with the help of Asian Development Bank and the ecotourism initiative, that is one of the heritage site as well as a Ramsar site today, that Keshapur. I am so happy that it has developed as an ecotourism site, and the local youth are trained as bird guides, and they are employed gainfully, and the people in local villages are getting good employment in terms of camps and local revenue, tourism and other things. I'm so happy that from Chamb means wetland. It is a wasted land, wetland sort of thing, wasteland types. Only where lotus will be growing. Lotus will be growing. So people used to harvest lotus and fishes. Today it is an international renowned tourist spot. So I'm very happy. So that takes years. That takes the initiative. So these were the two incidences I can recollect as a challenging task in wildlife, because we don't have tigers and elephants in Punjab, so we have not dealt with.
So in your experience, what are some of the administrative or bureaucratic challenges that IFS officers commonly face while implementing conservation initiatives?
As a forest officer, in fact, as an IFS officer, we can say the forest officers traditionally viewed as anti-development. We can say very proudly, we can say that the people, in the sense of the political class as well as even the parallel administration, district administration, or any development agency for that matter, take it as roads, electricity department, anybody for that matter, they term the forest officers as anti-development. Why? Because we are conservationists. We are termed as conservationists. These forest officers will not allow us to do development. That is a wrong connotation they have in their mind. Whereas we have the responsibility, we have the core value as a forest officer, we have to have our conservation objective, because that is again national enshrinement. It is under constitution. It is protected under 51. So all the animals, all the human beings, all the living beings are protected. So we are just protecting as per the constitution only. Whereas we have to strike a balance between this development and conservation. That we have to inculcate. That is the one quality. Number two quality, being custodian of 23% of the geographical area. We have to be proud. The forest officers have to be proud, each and every one officer. We are the custodians. We are the trustees, public trustees. We are the custodians of 23% geographical area of the land, of the country, not the revenue department. Who is the major landholder, That is the forest department. In India, major landholder, owner, we can say custodian is forest department. Not even the revenue department, not railways, not police, not the highways. 23%. That means 75 million hectare out of 323 million hectare is under forest. Is under the custody of forest officers. So we are proud that we have tried our level best to conserve. We are passing this to generations to generation. This is not only for the present generation. That is the way, that is the goal, sustainability goal to which we are striving. Of course, we are termed as anti-development. They are conservationists, they are closed-minded, they don't allow us to do this, do that. But yes, the Forest Conservation Act provides a mechanism how to divert the forest areas for non-forestry purposes through compensatory afforestation. We have to do the equal compensatory afforestation, because India is one of the proudest country to boast such a wildlife and flora and fauna and diversity. We don't have this kind of diversity anywhere in the world. We are one of the richest in biodiversity, and the entire biodiversity is in our custody. So we are responsible officers. We have to conserve. Even if you are termed as anti-development or whatever, villains of development or whoever, whatever names, good connotations we are getting every day. But we have to honor that commitment, and we have to go by our role and domain and responsibility which was enshrined to us, given to us by the government.
What strategies or approaches do you found effective in fostering greater public awareness and involvement in forest conservation and wildlife protection?
We have several initiatives. We have the eco-development committees. For example, all around the protected areas. Protected area means the wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, conservation reserve, community reserve, or any reserves. We have eco-development committees. Eco-development committees means the people around that particular vicinity will be in a way to do some kind of gainful employment in terms of tourism, in terms of self-help groups, in terms of self-employment. Like for example, bamboo basket weaving, lantana weaving, processing of wood, the non-timber forest products like honey tapping, resin tapping, all these gainful employment we will train them. We will also give them alternative employments, alternative income generating sources in watersheds. In one of the World Bank project I was so happy to implement two international projects in Punjab, one aided by World Bank and one aided by Japan Bank of International Cooperation, JBS. So in these two projects, we had income generating activities component. It was not the traditional forest working. It was like even giving a training to do village women folk tailoring training. So embroidery, which is a good profession in Punjab. So we used to give the rural women folk these trainings, income generating activities, bamboo baskets, medicinal plants. So eco development and JFM committees. JFM means Joint Forest Management Committees were formed around the forest areas. So these were some of the initiatives that the Government of India and state governments have taken. And in Punjab, we have very good apportionment rules also. For example, the profits are apportioned between the forest and the traditional forest people, the dwellers. The babbar grass, which is one of the rope making grass available in plenty in Punjab, is given free of cost to the people. They can harvest any quantity babbar grass, which is used for rope making. And similarly is any minor forest products. Minor in means now today it is called non-timber forest products. Any product which is not timber, like honey, lac, resin, any medicinal plant, these are all non-timber forest products. In Madhya Pradesh, we have tendu leaves, for example, shellac, tassar silk. These are all minor products. Minor, today we should term it as called non-timber. So these are the very good initiatives which has really weaned away the people from the forest. At the same time, they are getting employment in terms of ecotourism. For example, I told you, in Keshapur, the local youths are trained as bird guides. They can make tents, ecotourism guides, and they can make the tent houses for stay for international people or national people. They are trained for that. How to make a tent, how to have a washroom facility tent, some kind of a very good training we are given. So these are all some of the initiatives we can say. Joint forest management is one of the greatest strategy right from the 1990s. The government has moved from traditional policing job in forest department towards people's participation. That has really changed the way the forest department has worked. So that is one of the greatest initiatives. And I strongly believe in people participation. I strongly believe till my retirement and my career ends, even after career also, I will be working towards people participation. So I am very fond of involving the people in decision making. I keep on doing that.
As an IFS officer, have you encountered challenges related to illegal logging, poaching, or wildlife trafficking, and how do you combat these issues?
Illegal logging, illegal felling is rampant everywhere across the country. It is really a challenging task because the forest areas are vast, number one. Number two is our staffing are very poor. The staff strength is poor, and our arms and ammunition and infrastructure is also less compared to the police or district administration. So these are all certain challenges. Illegal logging, we have to have one is surprise checks. We do have lots of checkposts, barriers from the reserve forest outer boundaries. So where the men and guards will be posted, and then there are checkposts, and the licenses or the permits, we say transit permit or timber permit, is checked thoroughly. In Punjab, we have one famous wood called acacia catechu, katta. Acacia catechu is the katta, pan para, that particular wood. Pan para comes from wood. So acacia catechu is the species which is called katta in local language. So katta is manufactured across the border, Himachal or Punjab or Haryana, everywhere. The wood is melted into the pan para, and then katta is made. That gum resin is taken. That only is the ingredient for pan para. So this is the only one of the valuable wood in Punjab areas, in Hoshiarpur, Gurdaspur, even the Daswar, Ropar districts. So this is one of the challenge. Of course, we deal with it very clearly through the checkpost and through our surveillance mechanism, through our informer networks. We also have informers networks. We also have reward and carrot and stick policy also. So we have reward systems, those who inform the smuggling of wood, and also some of the areas where there is a lot of smuggling of stones from the river beds. That is again mining department. We used to have a coordination with them. And in case of wildlife, there is not much smuggling across. But of course, the international wildlife trade is one of the biggest trade today. So that is why the Government of India has come up with the National Wildlife Crime Control Bureau. We have a CCB, just like CBI, we have a central organization now today. Wildlife Crime Control Bureau is there, where interdisciplinary officers, not only IFS, but IPS, Revenue, Intelligence, Customs, everybody is working together in Government of India, which is having a counter intelligence in case of wildlife operations across the international borders. These are all some of the measures the government of India has taken, and we all the district level officers also gather intelligence. Through the intelligence gathering only we can control and curb. We also create awareness in terms of punishments, punitive measures, like punishments are drawn, like maybe the notice boards are kept in all the villages. So if you illegally fell a kaka tree, what is the punishment? How much you have to pay? Like 75,000, 1 lakh. These are all deterrent measures. So definitely people in South India, a lot of sandal, red sandal. This is the wood. In North India, it is katta, care, t-shirt attitude. So we have to deal with also.
So what inspired you to establish India's first ever community reserve at Keshapur Cham in Punjab, and what impact has it had on local communities and biodiversity conservation?
So that was a history which was written in my book also. I will explain a little bit about this community reserve. So for the last 50 years from say independence and the 1972 the Wildlife Protection Act has come. Thanks to our Honorable Green Prime Minister, we owe all our conservation efforts to our Green Prime Minister, Madam Indira Gandhi, who made three important legislations. Two important we can say. One is Wildlife Protection Act in 1972 and the Forest Conservation Act in 1980. These were two masterpieces of legislations we can say. So from 1972 even before also the Forest Department traditionally wanted to develop that particular area because there were a lot of wetland birds. That is the migratory corridor, migratory route from Siberia to Pakistan to Punjab to West Bengal. Like it is a migratory route. So Keshapur is in Gurdaspur district, which is the district just adjoining to Pakistan and also J&K. So the people were aware. There were a lot of conservationists, there were a lot of voice by the people there that we have to protect. But we did not have the way how to go because it is a wetland, number one. Number two is it is owned by 5 panchayats, community land. It is not government. Panchayat land is different from revenue land, right? It is supposed to be used for community. Community means in the sense it is common land for all the entire panchayats. 5 villages were in. Now there is a problem. So from 1970s onward, the Forest Department always wanted to declare it as sanctuary. Even they went to the governor, they went to the government. So many conservationists wanted to develop it as a forest protected area, whereas you cannot declare it as a sanctuary. Wildlife sanctuary, if you want to declare, it should be owned by government. It should not be panchayat. So in 2002, the Wildlife Protection Act was amended to include community reserve and conservation reserve. The difference between these two are community reserve can be declared in community lands, panchayat lands. Conservation reserve can be declared in government lands. If you are unable to declare it as a sanctuary, for example, there are wildlife corridors, movement of wildlife across the border or across the two forests. For example, Bandipur and Mudumalai. Here in South India, we have Bandipur and Mudumalai. There is a corridor. There is a village area where you can declare it as a conservation reserve if you own the land. But in community reserve, you don't own the land. If you don't own the land, if it is owned by communities, that is panchayats or even private, you have a clause where the management of that particular wildlife area will be with the people. Here the community reserve, this is the difference. The declaration is done by the government, whereas the entire management and the revenue generation and income generation goes to the people, back to the people. The 5 villages can share the revenue generated from the community reserve in terms of ecotourism. It is not owned by Forest Department today. Only one forest officer, like a range officer or a forester, will be in their management committee. There is a community reserve management committee where 10 members will be there, whereas the representative from Forest Department will be only 1. 9 people are from common public. So who will be deciding? You tell me. The decision making is done by the people, and similarly the entire revenue generation is done by the people and it will be utilized, whereas the investment will be by the government. Investment definitely yes, by the Forest Department. We will develop some infrastructure, we will develop the roads, pathways to do the bird sighting. We will buy some lot of binoculars. We will give them. We will train the guides. We will put the notice boards. We have even published a booklet. This is my second book, self-development. I published local birds of Keshapur wetland with the assistance from Punjab State Science and Council Technology. At the time of our bird census, we put the photograph of all the birds and we prepared the description of the birds, which is migratory, which is resident, which is breeding here. So those birds booklets are also were published, and we had a wonderful opportunity of interacting with the school and college children in that area. So catch them young was my mantra that time. So I used to teach the children and the college kids to make them aware about the importance of the wetland. I will end up my lecture by telling this word. Kids, today you have listened to me in local Punjabi. I will talk in very nice Punjabi. So I will talk in Punjabi and I will end up my lecture with one word. Kids or children, you have learnt me, you have listened to me for the last say 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Now it is your responsibility to go and tell your parents that this is important. There is an important area here in Gurdaspur in our district that we have a very good bird area which has to be protected. This is the message the children carry. And that 6 months I had lectured in almost 22 schools. I used to take 1 hour lecture in every school and college. I will go voluntarily. I will go and tell the principal or dean, principal ma'am or headmaster, please give us half an hour time. I want to speak with the children. They will readily give. Government schools, government colleges, all Guru Nanak colleges, every college I visited. So half an hour lecture and ending up with this note that this is a very important area and parents will be told by their kids. This method also helped me a lot.
In your experience, what role does public participation plays in the success of conservation initiatives? And can you share an example of successful community engagement in your projects?
Every task cannot be achieved by the government or by the bureaucrats alone until unless there is a participation, effective participation by the people. I strongly believe in this because when there is a community participation, you have a larger gathering, you have a larger knowledge, get a feedback. Basically, the bottom-up approach. This is called bottom-up approach. It is usually the bureaucracy is a top-down approach, where the orders flow from top to bottom. Implementation. That is possible in legal, in law enforcement, yes, from top to bottom, because that is the law of the land you have to implement. Whereas in decision making and especially with the governance, if we adopt the people's participation method, it is going to achieve greatest success in our country. I am a strong believer in that. Not only in decision making, but also in resolving the disputes. Today, the government is the biggest litigator, right? We are the litigator. We are the litigants in several courts of law. Why? Either the government has not implemented or the government has not followed the rules. So that is why the litigation. There are true litigations against the government, against the rule or against the law. That is a different matter. But in case if we are able to listen to the people and if we are able to resolve their disputes on the spot within the legal measures, within the limitations of the law, the litigations can reduce. I am a very strong believer. Second thing, public participation will definitely increase the transparency. The officers will not be sitting in the chambers of the room and take a decision for the people. They will have to consult the people. If you are going to make the Panchayat Raj institutions very strong, the Panchayat Raj institutions and the people's participation, the transparency is automatically going to come. You don't need even the RTI. You will be surprised before the advent of Right to Information Act. I don't know which year it came, but in 2002, as a district forest officer, first posting, I used to display all my schemes in the villages in open. I put notice boards telling that I am going to plant so many acres or so many hectares of forest here in your village, and this is the number of plants I am going to plant. This is the amount I am going to spend here. Nobody has asked me. Not even Right to Information Act came in 2002. Whereas my boards are available even today. My people means my state. I fondly remember my Punjab only as my state. So my Punjab people remember me as people's officer because of such transparent approaches. Way back in 2002 I am talking. So this transparency in administration will come through people's participation. Number one. Number two, you can reduce the lagging time, decision making and the implementation time. You can definitely reduce. You can reduce the pains of the people. You can be more sensitive. You can be more sensible. And if you are able to listen rather than speaking, if you are able to listen, that is why we are given 2 ears and 1 mouth. We have to listen twice and speak once. So if you are able to do this particular quality, yes, people are going to be happy and your administration is going to be very transparent. So I believe in this particular people's participation and I promote this wherever I go. Even as a scientist also I did this. Before joining IFS, I was scientist also in Agriculture Research Service, where I published 1 more book. These were some of the small little accomplishments. So I published one Watershed in Orissa, where you don't know the people, the entire belt, Kokriguda, Sunabeda and Koraput district, which is completely by the tribals, where the people want only their daily bread. So their daily bread is supposed to be their main motto. How will you talk about conservation to the daily bread winners? So you need to sit with them. You need to talk to them. You need to tell them government schemes. Sir, these many schemes are available and these are all some of the schemes, special schemes, which is available for employment, for alternative employment, income generation and other things. So this way only we have to be more sensible. The bureaucrats should be sensible and they should rather walk to the field, go to the villages, talk to the people, serve them truly. So then definitely our objectives of our bureaucrats or the forest administration will definitely reach larger heights. We have Forest Rights Act today. We have forest rights where the tribal people are given the forest lands, where we need to talk, we need to conserve. At the same time, we need to talk and we need to converse as well as conserve. So these are all the two domains we have to balance between.
What are some of the key outcomes or positive changes that you have resulted from your involvement in projects like Japan Bank of International Corporation assisted Punjab Afforestation Project and the World Bank assisted Integrated Watershed Development Project in Kandi region?
Punjab Afforestation Project funded by Japan Bank of International Cooperation and Integrated Watershed Development Project in Kandi. Kandi means Shivalik, Lower Shivalik Hills, assisted by the World Bank. Very fortunately, these two projects were funded by international agencies. I had the greatest privilege and honor and opportunity to serve in these both the projects. Both the projects had the core ambition or core value of people participation. That was a wonderful initiative. In integrated watershed development, you have to have watershed committees, the local committees have to be formed. The committees will decide. The local committees will decide what is to be done in their village. So they will come with the recommendation. The forest officer or the team leader in World Bank project, it is called team leader. It is an integrated approach where the forest, animal husbandry, agriculture, engineering and soil conservation. These 5-6 departments together they work with a team leader. Team leader is the forest officer. So the IFS officer, where you will have all the departments working under or with you together as a team. You need to do the check dams. You need to do lot of medicinal plants, you need to do horticulture, you need to do agriculture inputs, you need to give fertilizers and so many things, so many inputs. Here, the local communities, they form a management committee. So the management committee will decide and we will also sit with them. We will talk to them. We will ask them what to do in your village. So they will say, we have so many unemployed women force. So please give us tailoring training. See, the forest officer's role is not giving tailoring training. Whereas we did give a lot of training to the local youth, women, especially girls, through SISI. There is a small industries training institutes are there in Government of India, where the employment youth are trained in soap making, toothpaste making, phenol making. These are all some of the non-forest activities that the forest officers have to undertake in IWDP, that integrated watershed development. In Japan Bank of Punjab Afforestation Project, we had this revenue sharing pact with the people. If they protect the final harvest, 50% will be given to them. 50% of the revenue from the forest will be given and 100% buffer grass, the rope making grass, free of cost. Any quantity of buffer grass can be harvested by local communities. Again, they will have the committee, they will have the management. They will decide, they will determine who will be given how much. So these are all some of the wonderful initiatives which we had undertaken in IWDP. We had constructed a lot of check dams and we had constructed lots of medicinal plants and we had developed certain plantations and other things also. So the people participation or the joint forest management is the core value behind these two projects. So that way we had the wonderful opportunity to implement these particular aspects.
Have you ever encountered an unexpected or comical situation while facilitating a training program, and how did you handle it?
We had the ministry's SISI programs, their trainers were there, and of course we had to give some kind of incentives to the trainees, incentives in terms of some stipends and also some kind of loans. This is another wonderful initiative. The government has agreed, the World Bank has agreed to extend certain loans to purchase, for example, after training or tailoring, they need to buy a tailoring machine. For example, if they want to do embroidery, then they have to learn that embroidery machine. For example, soap making means soap making or phenol making, they have to have the raw material. So we had made some self-help groups. We had the matching grants. For example, if they are able to collect and save ₹1,000, we will give 1,000 matching grant from the government on as a soft loan, even as a subsidy also. Sometimes some part of it is called subsidy, some part is called soft loan without interest. So the best part is empowering them. We were there for some time only. We empowered them thoroughly in the sense that they became leaders. The self-help groups were run by themselves. So on a later period, our interventions were not required. So that particular self-empowerment is one of the greatest, we can say, satisfying moment for us. Even the rural women folk, they have become entrepreneurs. Some of them in the local villages. There were some processing plants. One Unnati Amla processing plant has come up in my area after my DFO shape, which is dealing with Amla products. Amla means that gooseberry. So they make gooseberry laddus, gooseberry juice and other things in Talwada, in a place called Talwara in Dasua. So Unnati has become an entrepreneur. In fact, today, one Mr. Jyoti Swarup is there. He has got a training from us, and today Unnati is one of the organic gooseberry processing plant in Punjab. So some of them are really grown up, and I am so happy to see their development.
What advice would you offer to young people who are just starting their journey into adulthood and the professional world?
Hard work, there is no replacement or no substitute for hard work. There is no compromise between this hard work. You may be very brainy, very intelligent or whatever it is, but hard work pays. You have to work hard and you have to be people sensitive. You have to listen to the people. As I told, you may be a boss in the district, but at the same time you are a public servant. For the people, by the people, you have been selected and elected or whatever. You have been chosen by the God, by the government to serve the people. That particular objective should be always in your heart. Be the public servant, number one. Later you be the boss or whatever, but number one, first priority is you are a public servant. Number two is hard work. Number three can be honesty in approach. If you are true and honest, yes, your efforts will be rewarded. And number four is, I want all the youth to read books. I don't want them to spend the time in mobile and the internet. No, please read hard books. Even though PDF versions are available, but try to read hard books. So that is, these are all few things. If you are sensible, if you are people oriented, yes, you will definitely succeed in your life and career, and you will have the best satisfaction possibly in your career. This is my take. At least I don't have a very great takes or stakes over the civil services, but this is my simplest take we can take.
In today's fast-paced world, how can young people stay resilient and adapt to inevitable challenges and changes in their lives?
The fast facing is misnomerized, I will say. Even though we have crossed generations or decades, for example, born in 70s and the 80s, now 80s I have crossed, 90s I have crossed, 2000. Yes, the world motion has not changed. It is remaining the same 24 hours. The day and night has not changed. Only the way we have reacted has changed. In fact, there has been a lot of development, and there has been lots of generations have come, and a fast phase of development has come. In fact, now, as I told, during our days, we have to go to the library and read. Today, nobody is required to go to library if you have a smartphone. So you have the answers for everything from Google Baba. But this has reduced your hard work, I can say. It has reduced your search time. Fine. You get the ready-made answer, number one. But at the same time, your hard work also has reduced. Is it not? So you don't go to walk. For example, you don't need to go to a library or maybe your book. Even your own bookshelf, you don't need to go. Even if you have the books, even my kids also say some answers from YouTube and Google when I ask a question. So that way, it is a fast changing, yes. But at the same time, the traditional values, whatever has been taught by our parents or peers, have to be remembered, have to be inculcated. It has to remain there inside. And that way you will change. You will change the world and you will change yourself also. I cannot give any alternative for hard work. So I really believe in very hard work. There are missionaries which has come to reduce your hard working style. For example, people have to go for walks. Previously, now you have your own treadmill. Maybe you can do a treadmill walk. People have to go to the theater to watch movie. Today you can watch a movie in your own mobile or in your own TV. There are certain things, but these developments should not reduce your physical mobility and the ability. You have to move. There is no alternative for physical exercises, we can say. So that way, the youth should be more agile and more oriented towards their physique and mind. And integrating your mind and body should come as a handy tool, for which you can learn meditations and lots of mental concentration techniques. But the core value which I wanted to tell or just to request is that hard work and sincerity and people oriented. That's all. If you are oriented towards people, yes, you will achieve all your goals.
What are essential steps and strategies that aspirants should follow while preparing for UPSC examination?
Number one is thought young. Catch them young. That is the mantra. As I told, you need to start your civil services preparation very young age. You cannot simply pass your entire college days without preparation. You have to start in your college. If you are really oriented in your schools, yes, well and good. But college is the best time where you get the greatest opportunity, we can say, because college teaches us for 5 hours maximum, right? 5 to 6 hours, maximum to maximum. 5 to 6 hours is the majority of the colleges teaches us. So out of 24 hours, you spend 6 hours or 7 hours in college maximum, including commutation, 8 hours. So 3 portions, 8 hours gone in your college and 8 hours gone in your sleep, and 8 hours is 3 into 8, 24. So this third 8, which is in your control, other than college and other than your sleep and bath and other things, which is in your control, how you are going to effectively utilize right in the college days. If you are going to be oriented towards, if you are really serious about civil services, please prepare your strategy, your optionals, whatever is close to your heart. Choose that kind of subjects, just not only scoring, but also which has to be close to your heart also, but also scoring. Yes, we have lot of tools today to analyze which is the better subject to easily score and get through. Prepare honestly, study a lot of books, study a lot of papers. Don't spend 4 hours in internet and computers. Try to spend 4 hours in physical books and physical papers, newspapers and physical books, where you will get the brain and the paper coordination is better for me. I think it is one of the success mantra we have really developed. If you watch mobile and read, or if you watch PDF and read, maybe the ability to go or imbibe is 20%. Where if you are reading the physical book or physical paper, physical notes that you prepare or you read, maybe 50 to 60% imbibing capacity will increase. So catch them in sincerity and not to accept the failure. That is one of the best quality I can say. Don't accept the failure as failure. If you are not succeeding in the first attempt, second attempt, don't leave. If you are going to give in your 21, that is the minimum level of age for UPSC, 21 years, just after the degree. If you are not succeeding, don't quit. Take a rest, take a break, but don't quit. Try. I succeeded in my third attempt only. I went in the first attempt to interview, but I failed. I failed in the interview. I succeeded in very greatest mark I had in my theory, that written exam, but in interview I did not fare well. The reason could be several, because I hail from a rural background. I did not attend any coaching. I don't know Delhi. Very honestly, sincerely speaking, I did not know Delhi. So UPSC interviews in Delhi, Shah Jahan Road. So my English was not good. My attire was not good. I simply went with a tie, no coat. So these are all some of the things. Lacuna. But at the same time, we have really developed. I did not leave. Okay, first time I went, I did not succeed. So second time, I did not apply. Third, I decided, okay, this is a strategy. I took a break. Third attempt, I qualified and I passed out from my academy as a topper, given the prestigious medals also. So hard work never fails. Your physical ability, physical efforts will never fail. Read physical books. Have this body-mind coordination. Move your body often. Means exercise or meditation. These two. Basically, you should not say there is no excuse, sir. I need to prepare. I want to study. So time waste, sir. Running, jogging, or doing meditation is time. No. If you are going to sit for meditation and maybe doing some kind of hatha yoga, some flexibility exercises, that is going to help you for 3 hours. Next 3 hours, you will be alert, agile and alert. By spending 30 minutes, the next 3 hours you are going to be alert, which is better. Either don't spend 30 minutes and be like this for next 3 hours, or you be brisk for the next 3 hours. So that is these are all some of the takeaways. And I have learned, in fact, through yoga, meditation and other things really help us in understanding the issues. Similarly, interact with the positive people. When you are preparing, don't try to have friendship with the casual people. That's my advice. Casual, who is not really serious into the civil services preparation, please don't have that kind of friendship. Have friendship, try your level best to have the friendship with the serious people who are really prepared, because time will be saved for you. The casual people will not have that objective in their mind and they will pull you down also. Whereas the serious people will try to uplift you. They will try to help you, help each other. And today, we are very fortunate that entire study material, entire world is in your fingertips. That is one of the best. See, there could be no better world than today. There is no depth of study material. There is no question unanswered today. Whereas during our days, there were several questions unanswered for us. So that way, you are so lucky in this generation, in this high-tech generation, we can say, where you get the ready-made answers. But don't reproduce that that ready-made answer that Google gives. Form your own answers. Prepare. Write down 4 answers, 4 sentences. Prepare your own answer. That will give you the best ability to answer in your interview or in your preparation or even your presentation in your exam. Because Google Baba make you without grammar also, without sentencing, without adjective, without say connotations or. But in case if you write your answer, read. I am not saying that don't see, but read. Prepare your answers. Rehearse it. Write down. This practice always helps you in attempting this career. You have plenty of coaching classes. You have plenty of mentors. You have plenty of guides, and I am always available. In fact, I am also running freelancing activity like this. Several people, several guidance, free of cost, either through online or offline or whenever time permits, I will guide the people. So you have several role models. You have very good opportunity of excelling. The best possible time is today because you have everything practically. You don't have anything which is unanswered. That is the best thing I can always say. So you have the ready-made noodles. You have to eat only. You are just given in platter. So it is the way which you chew and eat and relish that depends upon individual.
So, what inspired you to write Impossible is equal to It is Possible, and what message do you hope readers will take away from your book?
Actually, I had a career break for 2 years. Career break in the sense I took a study leave for PhD, doing a PhD. I had a wonderful break from the career. So I was doing PhD as well as I was having a lot of free time. I was thinking, I used to think a lot and I used to write a lot, diary and blogging and all the other things. I used to do that. So suddenly this thought process came. Why don't we write some kind of little essays or something, whatever possible. So I started writing, and this book is effort of 2 years, not 1 day or 2 days. 2 years I wrote this book. It's Impossible, It is Possible. With a foreword from Dr. Kiran Bedi, our governor, previous Lieutenant Governor Pondicherry. She only launched this book also. He wrote her foreword as well as she launched this book. So I took 2 years to write this book, just to crystallize my thoughts. Then I formulated into chapters from A, B, C, D. The motivation behind this book was there were some incidences, disturbing incidences, either in civil services or in even the general society. Some disturbing incidences have happened in terms of suicides. Some very senior people, some peers ended their life in failures, in career, even after career bureaucrats also. Some industrialist also ended his life, if you remember, Coffee Day person. That really affected me a lot. That has made me to think, why after getting this human birth, which is one of the, as per Avoyar, we say, Aridu, Manadarai, Arid Pirathal Aridi in Tamil. Aridu means rarest to be born as a human being. After being born as a human being and after accomplishment, people still do a lot of, they wanted to take away their lives or somebody's lives. So similarly, there were a lot of failures, civil services, so many things, and other people were depressed, and especially during COVID, people were depressed. So I wrote it before COVID, this book I wrote it before COVID, released it during COVID. Those only motivated me to write this book. It is not my thoughts alone. It is the thoughts from world authors. So many authors. I have studied. In fact, I have studied several books. Several books have given me inputs towards this book. So this is not entirely I can take only the English is mine. That's it. Thoughts are from Mahatma Gandhi to Abraham Lincoln to several people, Shiv Khera to so many authors. I have quoted down, and then I crystallized into A, B, C, D, 26 letters into 26 chapters. And this book has only one difference between the other self-help books and my book is the contemplation part. This is the last pages in every chapter. I have some questions that you answer yourself. So after reading that particular chapter, what is your actions? What you are going to do? Like your contemplation checklist I have given. So this particular thing has, and then Dr. Kiran Bedi said, put it in Amazon for whatever, Kindle in cheapest way. So this is available only in Kindle version today, not as a print version. Print version is only on demand, and Kindle version is costed rupees 99 because madam told me it should be cheapest. I don't want this money to come back to me. No, I want several readers to read even free also. So that way this book has developed. This is my gratitude that the God or the mentors who have made me to be this IFS officer. So something to give back to the society. This is the only way I have written this book. Several colleges, several dignitaries have appreciated this book. So it is a good if the youngsters read. Those who really want motivation or success, or whoever is in depression, please read some 1 or 2 chapters so that you will get back maybe 50% of your lost confidence. It is not a bestseller. No, it is not available in print. Only if you contact me personally, it will be sent to you. But Kindle version is available even for free of cost for the subscribers and 99 rupees for the non-subscribers.
So now comes your rapid round. Morning or night person?
I was a night owl previously during college and during preparations. Now I have become a morning person. I wanted to rise early.
Favorite leadership trait?
Listening to people.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee. South Indian.
Mountain, beaches or forest?
Beaches. Forests comes second. Beach. Because it is the vastness. There is no end to the beach. Whereas the mountains or the forest has the boundary.
Preferred travel destination?
Mountains.
Favorite aspect of government service?
Government service, yes, you are treated well by the society. You have a respect, right? You have a self-respect and you have a greatest respect in the society being in the government service. So that pride keeps us motivated to continue in the government service.
Proudest moment in your career?
Whenever our seniors appreciated our efforts, even in the form of appreciation certificate.
Favorite accomplishment?
So far that community reserve, India's first community reserve, because it was replicated 40 times now. I was the first. Now today India is having 40 community reserves.
Innovation or tradition?
Mix of both.
Strength or resilience?
Resilience. You have to be more resilient. Patient.
Best piece of advice you have received?
This empathy is the best advice I have received. In fact, I have received from several people that you have to be empathetic. So that particular quality I have received from all my mentors. In fact, my seniors or peers or leaders, even from the greatest, the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, he was empathetic. So that empathy is the best quality I have learned. I have received ever.
So at last, one line that defines you.
Very easy going, in the sense that I take both positive or negative and failure and success equally. Don't even though sometimes it hurts, but I don't take much into the heart, and I always give the success to others, accept the failures to myself, and a good team leader in the sense that I take the people along, I respect, and the best part is that don't get carried away by either praise or curse. Whatever. Do your duty and leave the fruits of the results or whatever. I just do my duty as karma. That's it. Whether they praise or they curse, it doesn't go to my heart.
So as we come to the end of our conversation with D. Rajasekar IFS, it is abundantly clear that his passion for conservation, community engagement and sustainable development knows no bounds. His dedication to creating positive change in India's environmental landscape is nothing short of inspiration. When we have learned about his groundbreaking work in establishing India's first community reserve, his pivotal role in various environmental projects, and his unwavering commitment to protecting wildlife and ecosystem. Moreover, Mr. D. Rajasekar talent as an author, photographer and a traveler have allowed him to not only document nature's beauty but also inspire others to cherish and protect. His journey from a practitioner in the Indian Forest Service to the Forest Conservation Official and beyond, including serving as a Secretary of the Animal Welfare Board of India, exemplifies a career driven by a deep sense of purpose. He is continuing to pursue his dream of launching his own startup in responsible ecosystem. We can also anticipate the positive impact he will make on India's environmental and cultural heritage. We extend our hearts thanks to D. Rajasekar IFS for sharing his remarkable journey, insight and inspirations with us today. His message that impossible is equal to it is possible serve as a reminder that with the dedication, passion and a strong sense of purpose, we can indeed achieve great things for our planet and our community.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. I wish all the listeners and the seers or the audience very best in their lives, and also I wish that all of you succeed in your own chosen careers. Good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.